What's up, guys? Luna Wolf from X House here. I'm a little stuffy right now. My allergies have been bothering me. I'm going to try and get straight to the point and then talk whatever. So this is the Mountain Hardwear. You clicked it, so you know, the Hyper Lamina Torch 3 Fahrenheit. I used it last night. It dropped down to 22 degrees, and I used it on my porch on top of a sleeping pad, which is one of the highest rated sleeping pads. It's the, dadgummit, I can't remember what it's called, but it's like one of the highest rated sleeping pads. With it going down to 22 Fahrenheit, which I'm not sure what that is Celsius, so 3 Fahrenheit, 16 Celsius, I don't know. With it going down to 22 Fahrenheit, which is pretty cold here in Alabama, on top of that sleeping pad, it was awesome. I woke up at one point in the middle of the night, and I was like, man, it is hot. That was like the temperature had to rose, you know, like, I don't know, 20 degrees. I was like, it is hot. It's got to be like 40, 50 degrees out here or something like that. I looked at my phone. It was 33 Fahrenheit. 33 Fahrenheit. And on top of that, I wasn't even on my sleeping pad. And if you've ever, if you know anything about porches, they have, you know, holes in them, like big gaps between the wood that let air come through. Me being off of the sleeping pad, with it being 33 Fahrenheit, which is 1 degree above freezing, this thing, I couldn't even tell. This sleeping bag's so thick, I couldn't even tell that I was off my sleeping pad. Plus, it was hot, and I was like, man, it is hot, and I'm not even on a sleeping pad, and the temperature hadn't gone up that much. It's 1 degree above freezing. So this thing was awesome. I've had no issue with the zipper. Like all of Mountain Hardwear's zippers, they're incredible. This is my long time, I can't remember the name of this one. This is the sleeping bag that I've used forever. The Lamina, so it's in the family. The Lamina 20 degrees. This thing is old, and it has, it's not as warm as it used to be. That's why I had to step up to this thing. Because if you know me, I sleep on cargo planes, and they go below freezing all the time. So I was like, I'm not going to be uncomfortable. I'm buying this thing. The only thing I don't like about this, where did the bag go? There it is. 1 second. The compression bag that comes with the torch is kind of junky. For the compression bag that came with my first Mountain Hardwear sleeping bag is amazing. It's still kicking. It doesn't have an issue. It feels thick and everything like that. This thing just feels thinner, and it doesn't feel like quality. Now, I'll put a pillow in it to show you the size that the torch will get to when you compress it. And it's about this size, but as you see, there's still room in here because this is a pillow. The torch will be busting out at the seams. It does not get, like, it gets about that big, which is big for a sleeping bag. Because my Lamina, or however you say that, Lamina, whatever. This thing gets tiny. It'll get to about this big right here. And that's tiny, this big, like a football, an American football. Compared to that, this thing is huge. But it doesn't, the weight's not that much. It's heavier, you can tell, but not by much. Plus, I'm getting down to 3 degrees. Right now, on if you want this, on Mountain Hardwear's website, this thing is, they've dropped it down to like $200. I paid $260 for it. And they are also advertising it as a 0 degree sleeping bag now, which is weird. Because this one, like it says right here, 3 degrees, 3 Fahrenheit. They call it a 3 Fahrenheit bag. And now on the website, it's called a 0 degree. They're saying it goes to 0 degrees. They haven't changed the bag. It's the same exact bag. And they've dropped the price. So that tells me that this bag will go to 0 degrees comfortably. Which, you know, that's your... Maybe they were being... They were kind of being... What do you call... I don't know. They were just being like, okay, 3 Fahrenheit is as low as we're going to tell them it goes. But it does go lower than that. So I'm guessing it goes lower. I like the, as you see here, I'll try and, it looks like, on the screen right now, it looks like a down bag, the way it shines. Down bags kind of have that shine, but this is not, this is a, I don't like down because when it gets wet, it smells, and it does not do well with water. This thing does great. The first time I tried this out, it rained, and I was in it and couldn't tell. It was great. But I like that it's got the little warmth protector, so when you get in it, you put that on, and then you zip up over that, and it will get hot inside of this bag. No heat gets out of this bag, so that's great. I do like that they've added these little, like this one doesn't have them. Where's it at? So this one's just got like a thing tied to a zipper. This one has like a little pull tab you put your finger in. It makes it easier. I'm not real big on the front zipping bags, especially the ones that stop right here, because they're hard to get in and out of. But I understand why they do it. It's because it holds, when you have a zipper, that's where cold gets out, or cold gets in. That's where you lose your heat. So they made the zipper smaller, and you don't lose as much heat. This bag is incredible. I couldn't believe that it was 22 Fahrenheit, and I could not tell. I was comfortable. And then it got up to 33, and I was burning up. I was like, my God, it is hot outside. And I opened it up, and I looked at the phone, and it was 30. This thing holds heat so well, I got hot in the middle of the night, and it woke me up. So I can't wait to try this in at least close to 0 degree Fahrenheit weather. I think it's going to do really well. But because at 22, man, this thing puts out some heat, which is crazy. Plus, you add that on top of a sleeping pad that generates heat. That has the my sleeping pad has the what's it called? It's like the emergency blanket type material. It's like that foil inside of it, and it holds heat. It reflects heat back at you. So I can't wait. My thing is I want it to get below 0, and I want to go camping in this. A lot of people here in Alabama think that's crazy because that's pretty cold. It rarely gets that cold here. I have ran my mouth for way too long. Anyways, I would suggest you get this thing right now. It's $200 on Mountain Hardwear's website. And Mountain Hardwear, I've used this sleeping bag so long, and the only complaint I had was the older it gets, the more you wash it, the more you compress it, it starts losing its cold rating. So it's a 20-degree bag, but it's probably only good to 30 degrees now. And that's something I did not account for, like take into account, was the more you wash this, the more you compress it in that tiny bag, the less heat it holds in. So this bag has been amazing. I've never had a problem with the zippers. I mean, they'll get hung up sometimes because they have little guards to keep the heat in, but I've never had a major issue with the zippers. When they get hung up, you just kind of gotta take your time and get them unhung. It's not that hard. Plus, I've never had a malfunction with any of the cords that tighten it up and all that. It's been great. So I said, if I'm going to buy another sleeping bag, it's going to be Mountain Hardwear because I've had no issues with them. Now it's got wolf's hair all over it. I need to vacuum in this room. But whatever. That's my only gripe, though, is that this bag, it does not get small enough in the bag. But yeah, that's about it. Anyways, appreciate y'all watching. Check me out, SoundCloud, Instagram, Twitter. Like always, check me out the streets.